Hi everybody. I wanted to thank my new subscribers. I'm really thrilled that I've gotten some people subscribing, and the best thing is the messages. I love the mess. Sometimes I get so aggravated at the Democrats for like circling their wagons and shooting their own if they're not absolutely perfect, and then not doing nothing when the Republicans are just walking over them and just disregarding the law. I feel like we're almost in a state of emergency, but not because of the border, but because of Donald Trump. And I feel in my heart that Nancy Pelosi did not want to do impeachment because she knew before it was all over that the Senate would, not really impeach him. And that's what the Republicans would run on this next election, is all this poor Donald Trump, how he's always the victim now. Blah, blah. So I think that's why she said that he wasn't worth impeaching. And also, he's just like a kid throwing a fit. If it was possible, if he was in any other place in the world but the presidency of the United States, what the news media and everybody could do is just turn their backs on him and walk away. Because when a baby's throwing a tantrum, or a young child, and you just ignore them and walk away, they'll get up and start running after you. It just blows me away, because it's to the point now where if they're not even gonna, they need to know these guys aren't gonna play fair. These subpoenas should have already been out for this material in the Mueller report, and for anything else they need. They should already have subpoenas on their way to Mueller to get him in there to testify. And if they're not going to follow through and catch up on this, I feel like our democracy is going to go down the tubes. And I didn't agree that impeachment was the right thing to do because I was afraid it would hurt the election and really not do anything. But if that's the only way they're going to get this information forward, then it needs to get going. And something's got to go. They can't just keep letting him break the law and break the law. I really feel like Christian Nielsen got fired because she wouldn't do Trump's bidding at the border. But I also feel, and like I said, I don't know if I dreamed this or heard it somewhere or what, but I never thought of her as actually doing her job. I never thought of her really doing her Homeland Security, as being in charge of Homeland Security. I just figured she was just Trump's puppet. But I have a feeling that maybe she was trying to do a few things because she was more educated for it than what he's doing now. Gone full Hitler on us here. I'm wondering if she wasn't trying to protect, not realizing everything that's going on and everything he's got in his pocket. I have a feeling that she wanted to go into Mar-a-Lago and set up go through and make sure there was no spyware in there, make sure nobody, just go in and do all the electronic surveillance, everything, and set up a new system where what she thought she was doing was making him safer, making Trump safer and making any of the secrets there safer and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like Trump didn't want her to do it because there's something more going on there. I mean, you don't just have like that Cindy Yang, every day more stuff comes out about her. And then this lady supposedly said she was there to see Cindy Yang. Her last name's Zhang, caught with the spyware. And a whole lot of stuff to do with the Chinese. And we know they're in bed with them because of Ivanka and all the different stuff she's got with China. So we know that they're in deep there somewhere. And I'm wondering if they're afraid to have him come in and secure Mar-a-Lago, because to start with, it was possible with all the different people there. But I'm wondering if they're more worried about that because they might find out what Donald Trump's up to with the money. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the money going through there, and they just, in fact, I was thinking about doing this for the last 2 days, and even last night on Rachel Maddow, something new came up about that, about a big ball they had for the inauguration that was supposedly funded through Cindy Yang. Rich people paying huge amounts to go to that ball, and they don't know where any of the money is. There's no record of any of the money that they took in for that, which was supposed to be for campaign funds. There's no record anywhere of what happened to all that money from just that one. And this just came out last night, and Cindy Yang's right in the middle of that, and another person that works under her said he knows where the money went, but he's not telling. Well, do you think maybe it went right into Trump's pocket? Most of it? Could have. Wouldn't surprise me. I don't think it would surprise anybody a whole lot if that's where it went. And what I'm going to do is just do a few cards across here and see if anything comes out on them. See if anything might come up to Cindy Yang, Donald Trump, inaugural ball. And this was for something to do with China, this particular inaugural ball. It wasn't a regular one. It was one held for Chinese Nationalist Party? I don't remember what they said, but anyway, it was definitely for the people from China. So, let's see what comes up here. Page of Swords. Let's go. Oh, wow, another page. A lot of messengers. A lot of messengers. A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. People putting out messages, people bringing in messages. I think this has to do something with spying. A lot of times this is the spy. And Donald Trump's definitely in on it. I'm sure he knows where the money went. If he doesn't, somebody very close to him knows exactly where that money went. Somebody in his family. Yep, it's family business start money. Yep, family business start money, the Three of Coins. Yeah, there was some community work there. I wonder what else this Cindy Yang might be setting up for him. Before I was thinking maybe it was something to do with bringing in some trafficking women into these rich people. And I'm going to let this out there real quick because a lot of people don't, well, because of my life at the bar all those years and working there and being the owner, it was such a small place, I had to work there. I learned so much about people. I know I used to have this group from China Lake that came in that worked in parachutes. And one time, and there was about 20 guys that used to come down there actually on deck to go to the Navy base there in El Centro, and the bar was right outside the base. All the space shuttles and all that kind of stuff, they worked on parachutes. And most of them were retired service. But anyway, this Chinese guy sat down, and as soon as I served everybody else that was with him, he had 6 or 8 people with him. And I walked back over there. He says, "Come here." He said, "Because I know you're the one in charge, so you're the one I need to talk to." And I thought, okay, what's going on here? And he says, "Well, I want to give you this first." And he handed me this card that had his motel number on it. And he says, "And I want you to send 2 girls over tonight." And I thought it was some kind of joke. And I looked at him and I said, "What?" And he says, "Now don't act naive." He said, "You don't run a bar or anywhere near a Navy base or anything like that and don't know how to procure women and how to get a hold of them." He says, "I will definitely give you a cut of what I pay them." How presumptuous he was to think that just because I owned a bar that I knew how to get a hold of girls. So maybe that's just a going thing, but it's a different way of being brought up maybe, or a different way of thinking. Anyway, let's go back to this. First we have we were asking the questions about spies at Mar-a-Lago, and also asking the question about this inauguration ball that was held for for some kind of Chinese embassy slash something. I'm not for sure what it was, but it was definitely not just open to everybody. Of course, not everybody could have paid to have went. Cost a fortune to get in there and everything, and nobody knows where the money went. So that's where we were at with that. And just from going across here, I'd say there were spies coming, spies going. Donald Trump definitely knew where the money went, and some of it went to his family. So, okay, we've got that. We got the 3: group money, dark money, family money. Then we got the 4 of Cups. Now, they were really sure that they were going to get away with it. Trump and all 3 of his children thought that they could just take that money. I don't know if it was because it was coming from some kind of celebration on the inauguration from another country or what, but they, for some reason, they just thought that money would never be followed. So they felt very safe that they could just take that money and drop it into their pockets. And they thought that was really great. Now they're kind of getting together wondering if that was such a good idea. Because the challenge is the Hermit coming forward and shining light on this. So this is going to come out into the open, and they're going to be looking for that money. And here's the Musician, is the outcome. Is he going to be able to hide it? I guess if he can start enough people fighting in the streets and fighting among themselves, he feels like he won't have to worry about this. And he really thinks that he's got so many Republicans on his side, it doesn't matter. They've gone along with everything he said. I don't know why Mueller keeps always coming back into Trump's role. He's supposed to be through. My next reading was going to be on something to do with him, but it looks like maybe he sent some of this stuff off to the Southern District of New York or something, because it looks like he knows something about this inaugural ball. Something about maybe the poor security at Mar-a-Lago, and maybe it's not an accident that it's such poor security. It's the way Donald Trump wants it, so he can filter money through there. And yep, here comes the money, the 6 of coins. Oh, gee. That's like one high echelon group screwing over a lower one. So yeah, that's what's going on there. I'm going to do 4 more cards and see if I'll have to go back and look at this on the deal and see if it's making any sense. Sometimes I get into this and go too many different directions. We got the Ace of Wands. This just came up recently. All this news on where did the money go from this inauguration. And it's a cleansing Ace of Wands in this deal. So it's could end up burning the tower down. This information on all this money and where it went from all this inauguration could be what ends up taking this president down. I just don't know if we've got enough time to wait for it to take the president down. That's why I'm wondering. I didn't feel like before they should try to impeach him, but I'm thinking now maybe they should. They've got to do something. Look what he did to the military this week. Look, I mean, he's just like taking a wrecking ball to the whole United States and the whole world. So this is saying, yes, this will bring him down. We got the 9 of coins here. Saying, yes, it could bring him down definitely for theft. So we got the 2 spies from 2 different sides at that party, at the inauguration, and also at Mar-a-Lago. We got King's in on it. He knows where the money's going, and he also knows how bad security is at Mar-a-Lago, and he wants to keep it that way. His family's in on it. They want to keep it that way because they're lining their pockets too and filling their coffers. As the news comes out, an angel of light's going to shine it onto the family. And the truth's going to come out. They're going to try, like they always do, look here, look here, look here, trying to gaslight it. Come out with saying more violent things and trying to do more rash things. And this, I always feel like, is the curse for the Republican Party. Does that mean that they're starting to wake up now because this is in the now? Or does this mean that they just follow him straight into hell barefooted, walking over the coals, knowing he was a crook and a horrible, horrible man? I don't know, but Mueller knows something to do with a lot of shady money. The Angel of Wands is going to come in with truth, cleansing. The tower is coming down, and that's Trump's tower. Yes, it is coming down, and it's for theft. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you very much.